solitude, others in perhaps each other, or the company of people you believe you're superior. As the evening commences, I will say a couple points of things just so I can cover the basis for the core NPCs. You guys do spot that Lambert asked Tolis for their book. Quote unquote, it's not very much of a book anymore, more like a small volume.
Pamphlet.
In hopes of finding, how to say, praying to anything and everything that can help you for what's about to come. Amber, of course, hangs out with Anushka. Nothing too surprising there. And we'll get to that when we get to that. While Kasai, you guys see her off and away is with Hebe. Okay, so to speak. Now, as this lovely music plays, a song which Owen never seems to relent upon throughout the entire evening, up until it is actually time for everyone to go to sleep, hit the hay, and so on. It is calming, the melody of it, but there's something that just tickles the back of your guys' minds about it. Something that just seems familiar in a way, but you don't know why. So, do you guys want to volunteer someone to be first for their cutscene, or shall we roll for it, or what do you guys want to do?
I mean, I was gonna say sure, but okay.
What? Damn, I fucking
Yeah. Threw her under the bush.
Thanks, guys.
No,
I
it's a
appreciate it. I
carriage.
really do.
Do any of you recognize it? Probably not. Actually, I'll give Silas a roll at it.
What am I rolling?
20.
Silas and Redain. Performance. You guys, all the
That's good.
bards, after all.
That's good. That's not good.
Not good enough.
To be fair, I rolled a 4. Or, no. What did I roll? Yeah, 4.
Yeah, you rolled a 4. You cannot place it. So, let's start with Anushka then, shall we? I'm gonna try to keep this going because we're gonna need that time for combat. But that being said, I don't want to deprive you guys of that which you've picked.
God fucking damn it. But offered up on the chopping board.
Yeah! So, Anushka, as you and Amber are sort of hanging out, well, her more so than you, you continue paging through Abel's design notebook and even decide to try your hand at it. You get given a set of Tinkerer's tools by Abel, so mark that down your inventory, and as you begin working at it, you find it rather easy. Perhaps it's from paging through the volume for so much, but it's as if your hands are moving on their own as you begin disassembling your rifle as you've done many a time, but now with this sort of alacrity, this speed and ease. You zone out even, to the point where Amber, you hear her out right next to you, ask a couple times, "Wow, you're going really fast. Hey, are you okay?" It all zones out. Shall I show everyone what you see, Kirsty, or do you want to keep it a secret?
Sharing is caring. Let's go.
Sure.
Yeah. What a good lass.
Alright, then let me just go find the art. I hope I actually have it saved, and if I don't, then I'm gonna cry. I guess I'm crying. I have it saved somewhere, it's just not in my folder. Give me a second.
Yeah.
But as I look for this art, you see a figure sort of begin apparating out as you literally tunnel vision on this task, the world around you being like exactly that of a scope. Dark, out of perspective and focus. Out from that darkness, a creature, humanoid in shape, although maybe a bit too live and a bit too tall, sort of coalesces and condenses from the shadow, the dark. They instruct you on things, and you just feel compelled to listen to them. And it is good advice, in fairness. On and on, you tinker with your rifle, make new implements from materials where you don't recall where they came from. Focused deeply upon this task. By the end of it, you reassemble your rifle. And you're emerged from your trance. The figure, that boy there,
Oh, what a handsome lad.
is gone. And you stir as Amber is shaking you. Anushka! Anushka!
I imagine she's
Are you
just sort of
okay?
like been. I imagine like the entire time she's just been like frowning, sort of getting like, kind of like more and more sort of frown confused kind of thing. Then she sort of pulls out and she's like, "Oh, what?
Jeez,
What?
you really have a work focus.
Oh, yes, yes, I suppose so. What are you needing?
Well, I just had some stuff that I was gonna pitch at you. Some. She looks off and away awkwardly. Just some stuff I heard about, and then she turns back to look at you. But I think you have it already solved. You look back at your rifle.
Oh,
It
sort of
is
like, yeah.
similar. It's still the same stock, but the metal is all engraved now. Sort of stained by acid almost, to give it that sleek appearance. The receiver is different, and you find that there is one particularly long bullet.
She'll just kind of like, I don't know, sort of like run, like sort of get her finger, just sort of lightly sort of trace over the lines that she's made, kind of look at the bullet, sort of turn it around in her fingers, almost like it's like the first time she's seen it, even though like she's the one that made it. And just sort of like, kind of goes, oh, yes, I suppose I did?
It's pretty sweet looking.
Yes, I guess so. What are you going to suggest? Sorry, in case it comes up later, maybe.
She does a dismissive way of her hand. It's fine. I think your design is great as is.
Thank you. I suppose it is. Sort of keeps like trace, like kind of running her hand over that particular bullet, just like,
It feels cold to the touch. Cold as the void.
And that she'll just sort of like just start kind of loading it up into the gun, I guess. Like, don't even think about it, just automatically, just kind of, kind of thing.
It all feels just right. Sights are even aligned and everything for you. Maybe don't shoot it in the middle of camp, especially after what just happened.
No, I would not advise such. That was certainly something.
You hear a voice in the back of your head. It sounds rather apathetic, but it does say to you, the bullet wouldn't make any noise anyways.
Yeah, I suppose that like the frown's gonna come back full on in place, and she's just sort of like rubbing her head, almost like she's got like a headache or something, and just completely zones out again.
Can you roll me your perception? Or investigation, whichever one.
Which one's higher? Wait a minute. Perception. It was perception or investigation?
Investigation,
Right?
whichever one.
Okay, perception. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Just casually get a 23.
As you get this frown on your face, Amber goes up and like sort of holds like it's always like someone checking in like the temperature of like a feverish person. Are you alright? And she's like leaning on this table. Hello, Dorky. We see you. Not really. Turn off the camera. And she sort of leans and try to like checks in on you and just like sliding along the table. And you see her hand runs over a marking that wasn't there earlier. But as her hand slides over it, it disappears. Sort of like Howl's Moving Castle when you get to the mark on the table from the witch. No cinder or smoke on this one, though. It just as if it was never there. Some sort of engraving on the table.
Oh, on the table. Okay.
On the table, yes.
She's just.
Yes.
No, yeah, she'll just sort of like follow that up to up to look at Amber and just kind of not say anything, but.
She has this ever so innocent smile on her face as she inquires upon the status of her significant other.
She'll just kind of like nod, sort of, almost kind of, still kind of out of it, and just kind of, oh, fine, and just sort of keeps kind of.
Any attempts at bringing it up to her, she dodges around. But that's something for later in the evening, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next?
Sure.
Gotta keep the train rolling.
Who the fuck volunteered me? They can go first.
Well,
Next.
I
Garth
said I
wanted
could
to
go.
Alright. So, as this is all happening in hyper-narrative and concurrence of one another, and I'm also trying to speed through it. Yeah, baby. Orianna, you are training with Astrid, alongside Astrid, rather, and she has her comments here and there, points on stance, places where to strike and aim, the variations thereof if a creature is fully humanoid versus something a bit more monstrous. Perhaps it might be needed for tomorrow. But you keep getting flashbacks, that sort of deja vu sensation. It starts as just a sensation initially, but then you actually start getting outright flashbacks of your training. But then you realize that the environments keep changing. Don't get me wrong, your training had many an environment you were trained in. But then some of them don't look familiar, even recognizable at times. Flash. You're in a facility training. Flash. War games in the woods. Flash. You're stabbing a man in his throat. Flash. You're ripping out his heart. That was not part of your training. It keeps happening. And this sort of dour, gloomy cloak is laid upon you. Not a literal one, but one of feeling. And it just seems the right thing to follow through with. The effectiveness, the brutality. And it keeps happening to a point where it's not a flashback. It is a whole episode that you play out through. You're chasing someone out from a town into the woods. They are your quarry. You are the predator. They are your prey. And as you're running by this muckish water that has just enough clarity to give a reflection, you see who you are, or rather who you're watching from. It looks like Scavola, but different. Younger, less scarring, more emotion, more humanity. But the hunt doesn't wait, and you get back to it. And then all the flashbacks you've seen prior, almost like the stills of film, one by one, they are finally coalesced, and you see the entire act through. The chase, the tactics, the assessment, their strengths and their weaknesses. You play around it. You entrap them. You kill them with a decisive strike. And then their heart is yours. And then you come back to the actual you. Astrid is looking at you from off on the other side of the training grounds as you're sort of been in a stupor for the past minute or so.
Could we say she comes back and whatever dummy she was like practicing against is just like ripped asunder?
Eviscerated.
Yeah.
There's this sort of... that's a weird wing to describe. Not shame, nor concern, but nor is it a lure. But it is a desire. After having seen your reflection, quote-unquote your reflection, that you're too exposed. You're too seen. And it doesn't fit someone of your occupation. You have a number of, textiles, part of your outfit. And you excuse yourself from training for a bit to go peruse and procure other materials. Just to get rid of that nagging sensation that you're being watched. That you're always being watched. And that you need to, disguise your profile a bit. And you fashion yourself a mask. A more encompassing mask. And as you don it, it feels just right. And then you go back to training. That just right feeling carries with you through your training. There's a certain anonymity it provides, even if everyone, especially Astrid over there, knows who you are under the mask. A certain disconnect. That, well, sort of like being anonymous on the internet, gives you this shrouding veil of protection, or seeming so, of being more brutal, more calculating, more decisive. There's just something nice about it. Something that allows you to tap deeper.
Has she ever seen Scavola wearing like anything similar to this, or?
Never. Scavola hasn't ever really hid herself in terms of appearance. Only her presence.
She just suddenly appears, basically.
In that vein, make me an investigation, but use your wisdom in place of your intelligence.
Let's see, am I proficient in that? I am not, so it'll just be this. Plus wisdom, not proficient. Could I throw a Kensai art die on this?
No.
Wait. Actually, with tactical insight, it does allow me to add it to investigations.
Not to this one.
Aw, I'm sad. Okay. That's garbage. Anyways.
And thus your night commences and continues. Who's next?
I will go next to continue the trio of the...
Very well.
Oh yeah, good narrative.
Silas, you are playing music alongside Owen. You are sort of wanton as you trail around the camp, talking with some of your friends or finding stuff to do to shake off that jittery feeling you're feeling right now, knowing something so dangerous is approaching. As you are walking around the edge of the camp, the village, just sort of vibing, you hear a psst. Hey. Hey, you. You turn to look at whoever it is. It's a person encompassed, shrouded in many different types of clothing. It's form-fitting, but not tight on them. And you can't fully see their face, although you do see poking out from the gap where their head is some whiskers. You want to see something cool?
Yes.
Turn around.
That's will turn around.
There's nothing there. You turn back around in frustration, like, what the fuck? You just told me to turn around. And you see it's you. Although, not quite you. It's a darker, dimmer version of you. And as you go closer to investigate it, it mimics your movement. You hold up your hand, it holds up its hand in perfect sync. And then you hear that voice again from behind you. Pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah.
You turn around to speak to the voice. There's nothing there.
God damn.
You hear laughing from around you. And then you keep looking for the source, and they're back at the tree that they're leaned on. I heard you like tricks. Little birdie told me.
I do.
Well, that trick right there is yours now, my friend.
You're serious?
Oh, yeah. Alright, it has a magic word. Alright?
Mhm.
Alright, repeat after me. Okay. Alakazoo.
Alakazoo.
Kabam.
Kabam.
Alright. Now try it again. Without me this time.
Alice Kaboom Kazam.
No. Alakazoo Kabam.
Alakazoo Kabam.
Just kidding. There's no magic word. You just sort of do it.
I knew it.
Cat after my own heart. Put a good use, though, huh? Plenty of cocks in the world that need to get screwed over. Just don't be an asshole.
Alice nods.
Turn around.
Alice turns around.
This time there actually is something there.
Alice jumps.
Or no, it's not like he's there or anything like that. No.
Mm-hmm.
As you turn around, you see this sort of how to describe it? Armlet? It's just sort of dangling there off the side of the building. Off like a little string. Did you take it?
Go up and... Yes.
You go over and take at it. And then it disintegrates into golden dust as you go to touch it. And then that gold dust begins flowing into your hand. And you hear this laughter around you. Laughter as if you were the butt of a joke. And what a fucking great joke it was! Look at that fucking nerd! He spilled all this McDonald's on the ground! Fucking idiot, dude! Like that sort of laughter.
Not attendees.
It's a concert hall of laughter. And if it sort of hurts because it's literally you're getting bullied, and it also gives you a migraine. Trick number 2, kid. Trick number 2. Put to good use. Don't worry, there's some other goodies. This figure begins walking up to you. Roll me your perception.
Just 1 second, I need to do something, sorry.
How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you?
So rude.
I can't fucking believe Nidna. Can you fucking believe it? Suffers 3d10 psychic damage for wasting our time.
Listen, there is a child who wants chips very vehemently right now, and I have to tell her no.
Okay. Also, Alec, I appreciate you're now Alec Kazuka Bear.
Oh my god.
That's so true.
Nice.
That wasn't even intentional. I appreciate your jumping on the joke, though.
Yeah, I swear to God, that song is going
Game
around my
is-
head. I cannot remember what film it's from.
Anyways, keep it
It's from
moving.
Cinderella.
Bippity boppity
I'm
bop.
pretty sure.
It is really. Yeah.
Oh, you shut the fuck up.
What
This
do I
figure
have?
walks over to you.
Oh.
Roll me your perception.
Okay. Please don't roll bad. Ugh.
15. There are other people around, but it doesn't seem anyone even notices he's there. That's trick. That's a different trick. Maybe you'll get there. Maybe. Maybe. Just know this. He holds out his hand to shake. You got a friend in me. And little birdie did tell me about you, and now I'm keenly interested. So take those tricks
Cyrus,
and show me
will-
what you got.
Silas will take their hand very cautiously.
Don't worry, no tricks happen on this one. You shake it, and they begin sort of fading away. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. But as they leave, they say, "No, you got a friend in me. Good old Ichabod." Don't worry, outside frame. You got some more tricks up your sleeve now, don't you?
I do, in fact, have tricks.
If anyone can guess what Ichabod is, I will give you an inspiration right now, but you'll only get one guess.
I've definitely heard the name too many
Well,
times.
not where the name,
Yeah.
not where the name is from.
Yeah.
I will give Kirsty an inspiration for figuring out it's from derived from Ichabod Crane. That's really fucking quick. Because it is a pretty distinct name. But if you guys can figure out what Ichabod is, I'll give you an
heard the name
inspiration.
fucking Ichabod.
I mean,
If you guys
I like
tell me
fables.
what Ichabod is, like categorization wise, I'll give you an inspiration. You all get one guess, type in Discord chat. Type in Discord chat what you want to guess.
I just know it from the
Oh,
comics.
yeah, never mind, Fred got it already.
Yeah.
He's a Loa. So, Fred, take your inspiration. Moving on! Who's next?
You know what that is.
Oh, time to learn. Sure, I'll go next. No one else is talking.
Very well. Rudane, you are in a pensive mood. A lot has happened, and Brendan's words are pinging in your mind, and you're sort of, well, trying to determine what to do next. How to prepare for the next day. What tricks you can pull, what tricks they have, so on and so forth. You begin walking to clear your mind, get maybe a look at something that might strike some insight to you. When you realize your blade is not at your side. Don't get me wrong, you picked it up when you threw it down into the dirt for Maxine. But as you're walking around, it's no longer there. You turn around and look to see if you've been targeted by one of Amber's pranks or Silas's pranks. Maybe Brendan helping Silas's pranks. Maybe Anushka helping Amber's pranks. You don't know. There's a lot of pranksters in your group, apparently.
There's a prank epidemic here.
Yeah, there's a prank epidemic right now. But as you look around, you see everyone walking around, meandering around, doing whatever they're doing, and you don't, seem particularly. You don't see them. You don't see Amber or any of them hiding around. But you do see off a mere 5 feet away is your sword being held by someone. Someone that you do not recognize in this camp, just by having been here for the past 3-some days. They look like you in a weird way. The facial proportions, the height, the clothing is entirely not yours, though. And they're just sort of holding the blade, feeling the weight of it, doing some, not test swings with it, but twirling it around to see how it would feel in a swing. And they look exhausted. You see bags under their eyes. There's this weight to their very posture. And then they just sort of idly turn their gaze from the blade to you. This looks like you, strikingly so, but they also look defeated, tired, depressed. And then they look back at the blade, close their eyes, and hold it, the blade itself, to their forehead, so making contact. And then you feel this behind you now burst of warmth. Sort of like, opening the door when it's hot out and you have AC going on. So you should be pretty familiar with that being from Florida. A burst of heat strike you from behind. Some wind, some sand trickles away from you. And you see a figure you've not ever seen before, but you know of him. He's standing taller than you, although there is a sort of... how to describe it? There's just something off about him. You've heard so much of him, but there's just still something off. The other you walks towards you, past you, and holds it up to Marshal Militides, who looks down at it, the blade, and shakes his head, unsatisfied with its quality. Marshal then turns from the blade to you, leans down a bit because he is taller than you, and puts his arms on your shoulder and shakes his head at you. Also dissatisfied.
Looks back defiantly. I will not be demeaned by a spectre.
You hear underneath the helmet of Marshal laughter. A chuckle. And then a nod. And you hear him speak, "Yes, that is better. Wouldn't you agree?" They turn to look at the other you, who still looks tired, but has this sort of renewed vigor. Stands up a bit straighter. And then they speak in a voice that is close, but not the same as your own. "I do think that you're going to need a better blade, though." They run their hands from pommel to tip. "Something more befitting of a lord, a king." As they run their hands across it, it holds its core shape, but it gets this splendor to it. A polish that never seems to go away. And it also begins lengthening. Once they're done, they upend it so that they're holding it pointing down and hold it out to you. Go on. For both of us. Marshall takes his hands off his shoulders, takes a step back, looks at Blade, nods a little bit. Not a full assertive nod, but a little bit, like, eh. And then fades to sand, leaving just you and your double.
What does the double look like now? Does it still have that defeated look?
He does still have that defeated look overall, but you see in it that spark of defiance. That flicker for wanting for more. To put it in a meme, I didn't hear no bell.
just look at the other him and resolutely say, "We won't stop till we accomplish our goal. Never."
He nods at that. Good. I'll be waiting for you. You take
Just
the blade.
nods back.
You take the blade. And he begins fading away. Roll me your history. Unless you already have an idea of who they are. In which case, then no roll necessary. But if you're not sure, then roll me your history.
Yeah, that's right.
You are left with your thoughts, pensive. And an awesome new blade. As you take the blade and swing it around, your mind races. The new potentialities. And as you look around for the rest of your company, your river company, you see, it's like out of the corner of your eyes, them, but not them. People of their relative make, physique, but not always the same race, and in a similar pale, semi-translucent capacity as the you just saw. Unincluding yours, there are 9. They're only there for but a moment as you begin scanning across the camp. When you blink, they are gone. But it does give you some insights onto what is happening, and more importantly, insights into your fellows. Your mind races with thoughts. Who is the scalpel and who is the hammer amidst all of you? The shield, the striker. How much of this mortal existence you're in is being seen by powers beyond? And more importantly, how much you really care? Or perhaps you'll defy them. Only one way to find out, though, and that is something comforting for your thoughts for the evening. Who's next?
I'll go.
Very well. Sajar, you meditate upon your new vested power.